Agastya from MNF Explorers 10. So I'm catching up you guys with one more interesting video. And this video is based on Indian Space Research Organization. It may surprise some of you to know that ISRO was actually formed way back in 1962. The Indian National Committee for Space Research, as it was then called, was formed under the leadership of Vikram Sarabhaiji and physicist Khalpati Ramakrishna Ramanathanji. At the time, they had no resources to speak of. They just had a small pool of scientists and barely any funding. In fact, for the first rocket they launched a year later, they were transporting the parts to be assembled by bicycle. And now, more than 50 years later, we, ISRO, we Indians are launching rockets to moon, Mars, and beyond. First milestone for ISRO was in 1963. Because why am I calling it as a milestone? Because that was the first time when ISRO was sending a rocket into the space. It was just a year later, after INCOSPA was formed in 1963. That Indian launched its first rocket into space, as I said you. The sounding rocket meant for probing the upper atmosphere was launched from the Tumba Equatorial Rocket Launching Station in the fishing village of Tumba, Kerala, now known as the Vikram Sarabhai Space Center. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalamji, who was on the rocket launch team at that time, describes how INCOSPAR had to acquire land from a local church and relocate the villages before preparations could begin. Then they were moving rocket components to the launch pad via a bicycle. Finally, on November 21st, 1963, they launched the rocket in the presence of eminent scientists like Dr. Homi Babaji. When the Nike Apache rocket launched in 1963 was supplied by NASA, ISRO went on to build the first launch vehicle, the Satellite Launch Vehicle 3, SLV-3. It was our first experimental satellite launch vehicle, a solid four-stage rocket weighing 17 tons and capable of placing 50 kg class payloads in low Earth orbits. And then ISRO also built launch vehicles like PSLV, GSLV Mark III, and many more. The next milestone for ISRO came in 1984. Rakesh Sharma was an Indian astronaut who was the part of joint manned mission between India and the Soviet Union, making him only Indian national to date to ever go to space. The next milestone came in 2008, in form of Chandrayaan-1 mission. The biggest achievement is that this mission led to the discovery of water on the moon. And this is not a milestone. This is, it's a speechless moment for many ISRO scientists because, space research organizations like NASA, ESA, CNSA, Roscosmos, they were trying their best to find water on moon. But ISRO was, it didn't have those equipments, but still, it showed off what is ISRO. The next thing was ISRO's mission to Mars in 2013. ISRO looked even further to Mars mission because till that time, they had one thing in their mind because China sent their first satellite to moon before India. So they wanted India to send first satellite to Mars before China. So what happened is that the space agency launched the Mangalyaan mission